I've been promoted 19 times in a 22-year career.
Wow.
I've interviewed 20 times. I've only been told no once. And I do that just like this, just with these nails, with my hair changing every time I change my clothes. I had a client, she called me and she's like, I interviewed 7 or 8 times, been unemployed for 4 months. She sent me a message and she said, within a week of meeting you, I finally got my job. And it's her dream job.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy.
All right, guys, we are back with another incredible episode of the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. And today it's for all my folks who also have a 9-to-5. Now, I know that many of you are like corporate heroes. That's what we call you guys. You're working your corporate job and you're working your business and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I get promoted? Because here's the thing, your job should be your investor. The reason why Speak Your Way to Cash started the way it did, and this is one of my most successful businesses that I've ever started in my entire life, was because my job was making me $300,000. So it was my first investor, and I negotiated a $60,000 signing bonus and a $100,000 raise. So I was able to take that $60,000 signing bonus, and that became my seed capital for Speak Your Way to Cash. I didn't need a venture capital fund or a whole boardroom of people to give me the money. I gave it to myself, and that's exactly what you should be doing right now if you need more money as an entrepreneur. So our next guest specializes in helping you land high-paying corporate jobs using what you know. She's a beast at what she does, and I'm so excited to talk to her, call her a client and friend. And now I'm going to introduce y'all to my girl, Lacia. So Lacia, welcome to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here. So let us know what you do and tell us your story.
So I am the Unapologetic Leadership Coach. A lot of people are like, well, why do you call yourself the Unapologetic? Well, I worked 22 years in corporate. The last 12 years in corporate, I was sitting in this meeting. I had just got promoted to a manager, and the person who made me the manager was a director. And he told me, you're doing really good in your role, and this is just a conversation about shadow of a leader. And I feel like you should be more like Michelle Obama and Oprah. I feel like...
Is this a white man?
Yes. He said, you change your hair too much and your clothes are always so colorful and so flashy. And, you know, this organization is ran by a good old boys club, if you've ever noticed. And they won't necessarily feel comfortable with you at their tables or on their golf courses if you want to promote and excel. So I would like to just kind of give you this feedback so that you can, you know, be the leader that I know that you can be. And then that was the day that I thought that I was going to lose my job because I wanted to choose violence and come.
My mouth always got me in trouble in corporate. That's how I knew I was going to be there forever.
So for me, it was that moment, and he was like, "Oh, your nails are always," because honey, the nails
The nails are nailing.
the nails will always nail. It's a thing that I tell people in corporate. I'm a triangle. You can't put me in a box. I poke out at the sides.
Ooh.
And in that moment, I realized. He got me messed up. Like, yeah. I don't know if he know who I am, but okay. And so I went home and I really internalized that. I did for like 6 months. I kept the same wig because, baby, the hair is an accessory. I own like 60, 70 of these.
Ooh.
And
it's fly, too.
Thank you. It's the last thing that I put on before I leave. It's a part of the outfit.
Yeah.
And so I wore the same wig. I wore black and browns and blues. And it just, for my work product never changed, but my personality did. And I got this new leader that started at my company, and she was my new boss. So that person, sorry, boss, ain't nobody your boss, y'all. You only have leaders. My bad. The leader that I was working with for the time, he got promoted. And then I got a new lady that came in, and she's like, after 2 months, she's like, you know what, Lacia, I was told that I was going to have this very energetic person on my team that was always happy and go and got all of this drive and this, like, where is she?
Yeah.
We don't know where she is.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I told her that discussion that I had, and she was like, I need you to go home and come back tomorrow who you were before he gave you all that feedback. Baby, listen, I came back with an orange suit on, and I had my hair and orange earrings, and I just changed. And from that day forth, I realized I need to be unapologetic in my career, because even though I was coming in still producing work product, I wasn't doing it as my authentic self. So then I had to realize, as a part of being able to come in and be who I need to be to get the results, I got to be able to do that as myself. And how many people are out there coming into work in this box that they're being told that they have to be in, stand in this box, watching people grow, promote, and move, and they're not able to do so. And after that, I got promoted. So my record, I've been promoted 19 times in a 22-year career.
Wow.
I've interviewed 20 times. I've only been told no once. And so when I tell you, I know and I do that just like this, just with these nails, with my hair changing every time I change my clothes. And so that's how the Unapologetic Leadership Coach was born. And then what I realized is I had all of these women coming up to me going, how are you able to do this? Because all of these executives, all of these CEOs are inviting you to their table. They're inviting you to these conversations. They're asking you for your feedback. They want to know what you think. But you do it as yourself. I don't know how to do that. I want to be able to move and grow and do it, but I don't really know how. And so I created this framework and I've been using it. It's 6 things that I do to get to the next level. And I promote every 14 to 16 months. And every client that I help do the same.
That's incredible.
So that's how it kind of started. It was from somebody telling me that I needed to be more. At the time, I want to say I was 27 and he's telling me I needed to be like Michelle Obama and Oprah. And I'm like, and he told me, and also I'm from Flint. And so he told me I needed to leave Flint in my rearview mirror if I ever wanted to be more than what he hired me to be.
The audacity. Was he like the CEO?
The caucasity. No, he was at the time, his position was a director. Now, fun fact, he is now a VP at that same company. He continues to move and grow. And I'm pretty sure he is saying the same thing, has the same demeanor.
Wow.
And diminishing so many other women along his journey.
Wow. Oh, we should blast you, Jack. We don't know your name. You know what? The petty in me, I have told stories about my time in corporate, and girl, why the last time I was on stage, I gave the lady real name. It was a total mistake, but I was like,
oh, yeah.
That's, no one knows that lady. But sure enough, I'm sure someone will send her the clip because things be, they be
It does circulate.
It does.
You know what? It's funny because after we had that conversation, 2 years later, I promoted to chief of staff to the claims executive, which was his boss.
Yeah.
And he needed things from me because now I'm the person that is, you got to get through me to be able to get to him.
Yeah.
And so he apologized. And I don't know if it's genuine. I accepted his apology, and I definitely, at that moment, I gave him, I read him for filth. I need you to know how you made me feel and how you changed me.
Oh, you told him?
Absolutely.
Ooh, what did he say?
He apologized, and he was just kind of like, I didn't really mean to do it that way, and I'm sorry that you felt that way. But to this
I'm glad
day,
you got that moment.
I did.
Because you know how when somebody offends you at work, and then you go home and you play out all the stuff you're going to say to them?
You should have said.
Yeah, but then you be mad. You're like, I should have said that. Why didn't I say that?
I did. And so because I had spent 2 years doing that,
Yes.
the minute he sent me an email and his assistant, I messaged his assistant immediately, like, what's this about? Because it didn't have a subject. And he's like, he just want to talk to you. And I'm like, about what? And he's like, he just want a moment to talk to you. And I'm like, fine. So when he sat down and he's just like, I understand that I may have said some things that have offended you. You may have. Yeah, let's get busy.
Well, in fact, I have a list.
Let me pull out the list of things we need to discuss.
Yo, that's crazy. So how did you go from that? Like, you're getting promoted. You probably, had you continue doing that, would have been like him in the C-suite. What made you say, you know what, I can't have women out here and men feeling the way I felt. Let me start a business to really help them to get promoted, but stay unapologetic.
Because I feel like the person that needs you most is the person that you look back at in the mirror.
Facts.
And if every single day there was a version of me that I was leaving Lacia in the car and then I will put on my armor and then go into work. And although, again, she can produce the results, but at what cost?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not sustainable. When you're going into work and you're leaving a version of yourself in the car, it really affects your creativity. It affects it just affects everything. Like, can you imagine coming into work not as yourself, not fly with the glasses and everything? Like, it isn't sustainable. And so I had so many people going, we really need to know how you do this and how you able to do it as yourself. And I don't code switch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level of code switching, right? There's a time and a place, and then just know your audience is what I call it. But there's no code switching. What you see is what you get, and I can represent professionalism just the way that I am and just the way that you are.
That took a while, for me to get to that point. I remember being in, working in big law, going in, not seeing no black folks, and I had to tell myself every day when I walked through that office, you're going to be you. You're going to be you. You're going to every single day. And even with that, when I left and started my own business, I realized I was still holding a lot of me back. Mm-hmm. It took a long time to figure out, who am I? What is my voice? What do I really care about? What don't I like? And I could say what I don't like. Like, why don't I talk more about that? Like, that was a process. So you mentioned a 6-part framework. What is the framework?
So the framework first is building relationships. People are the new currency. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that are like, I hate networking and I hate meeting new people. One thing, God sends you blessings and people. So
For sure.
if you don't meet new people and if you keep in the same circle of people, how do you build your knowledge? How do you build your business acumen? The second one is visibility. So if you're one of those people that come in, clock in, do your job, and you feel like they should just know that I'm really good at what I do, I'm the go-to. So they know they don't know because they only know the portion that they see. But how many of y'all going to work every day and you do 80 different things, but they only know that you do 20. So what does your visibility look like? The third thing is I have this thing I always tell people, date the job before you apply for it. Because when you date the job before you apply for it, you get to know a lot about the job. You get to know about the leadership style. You get to know about the team, the people you're going to work with, the teams that they collaborate with. You get to know all of these people. You get an opportunity to have all of this intimate knowledge, attend these meetings, have a mentor, and all of the things. And then when there's a position that's posted, who do you think they're thinking about for it? They're thinking about you because you've been the one dating the job for the time frame. And then the other one is treat yourself like a business and make business decisions that suit your business need. Your job is not your family. You do not need to be loyal to them. You should be loyal to you, your goals, and what you're trying to achieve for your family. And so you get some people that go in, again, they come in, they do the job, they go home, and then they're pissed off and they're not getting the results.
Yeah.
And it's because they just feel like, well, I've been here 20 years. They should. No,
Yeah.
they shouldn't do anything. A business is going to make decisions to suit their needs. So should you. And so that's number 4. The 5th one is what's your brand? How do you brand yourself? What do people know about you? Are you the person that complains all the time? Are you the person that just always got the complaints, but never a solution? And so how do you brand yourself? What do people know about you? Are you just the person that only has the soft skills? Or are you the person that they can see in a strategic position? So how do you position yourself whenever you're going for the opportunities? And then the last one is your mindset. If you don't, if you feel like you can't, you won't. If you feel like all of the jobs are going to the people that kiss up or all of those things, they will. And if you can't position yourself in a way where you're like, when I know better, I can do better, and the more you know, the more you grow, then you will continue to sit in their seat and be stuck and upset that you're not going anywhere.
We are going to get back to this good episode in just a second, but I have a question for you. Can I help you build a $25,000 offer, like one that you could sell to small businesses or large businesses alike? And can I do it for free? Because that's exactly what I'm doing at the end of this month at the Your First Corporate Offer Summit. For 2 days, I'm going to show you on day 1 how to build your corporate offer, and on day 2 how to sell your corporate offer, and it's going to blow your mind. We have had thousands of students sign up for this summit, and they have always gotten value, but I feel like you're VIP if you're watching this episode. So if you get a VIP ticket, I'm gonna hand deliver to you 50 corporate offers and the prices that you can charge for them, so you don't even have to think about whether or not this offer is quote unquote good. Now, we're also going to give you an opportunity to upgrade to a platinum ticket, which would allow you to get one-on-one coaching from me during the summit. Everyone with a platinum ticket gets at least one-on-one question time with me during the summit. So you get to ask your question, come on Zoom, and I'll coach you live right there. Look, whether you get a free ticket, a VIP ticket with the workbook, or you upgrade from VIP to platinum, you are going to have a great time. And if you want to sell higher tiered offers, this is the summit that you have to attend to. So go to speakyourwaytocashsummit.com and get a ticket to the Your First $25,000 Offer Summit. And I'll see you there. I love that. I love that. And I think you recently had a client win, like a client.
I did.
Yeah.
So I had a client, she called me and she's like, she had been laid off for 4 months. She had applied for 50 plus jobs. She interviewed 7 or 8 times. And when she originally called me, I think she was on the fence because she's like, once I gave her my price, she was like, that's a bit much. Let me think about it. And then 10 days later, she got an interview and she's like, forget it. I need you. So she called me. We booked the session. We went over, there's a 2-prong process that I do in order to prepare you for an interview. And she ended up getting the job. Interviewed 7 or 8 times, been unemployed for 4 months, and she sent me a message and she said, within a week of meeting you, I finally got my job. And it's her dream job. And she went from nonprofit to profit world, which she had never done before. So that transition was hard for her as well, but she was able to do it. And I'm telling y'all, I got the sauce.
Yes. And so if there's someone watching this, because our channel is mainly for entrepreneurs who I think about 50% of our audience has a job and they're entrepreneurs. Is your framework, your programs, that's something that they can do while having their business?
Absolutely. So you mentioned earlier, so same for you and me, I use my 6-figure salary to launch my business. So when I tell people all the time, work smart, not hard. And so if you don't really have the people that can invest in you, the credit that allows you to get the bank account that is going to allow you to afford your business, then this is your business. Treat yourself like a business and make business decisions that suit your needs. So use this business, promote, grow how many times you need to in order to stock the money that's necessary to start your business and be an entrepreneur, because that's how I did it.
I love that. And then how did you come to Speak Get Ready Cash? How did you find us?
So it's funny because somebody else mentioned this. I was saying I worked for this company for a really long time. They made a lot of money and they had me travel all over the world speaking on their behalf, but it was not my job. And so I was like, you know what, if they are trusting me to travel around this world and speak, I probably could do this for myself. So I started saying I wanted to speak. I started getting your Facebook ads. I bought this book, and this book landed me my first paid speaking gig.
Hey, let's go.
Yes, and it was a 5-figure speaking gig.
Hey.
When I went from like speaking for free, and I'm like, hey, now I think I'm on to something. And so then I started to apply that principle for everything. And then I said, well, if her book can get me my first paid speaking gig, I need to go to her conference. And I went to your conference, and it changed the game for me. Like all of these women, boss women that are not, I spent a lot of time in corporate dimmed.
Yeah.
And so when you go into this room with all these big personalities and all of this light and all of these people owning it, I was at home. I said, I am home. Thank you. Thank you, God.
Right. Oh my goodness. Right. Boss women just like you.
Yes.
That's amazing. And what's been your favorite part about being, because now Lacia's actually in the Speak Get Ready Cash Mastermind. What's been your favorite part about being in the mastermind?
My mindset has changed. One of the things, the biggest thing that you said to me on that stage one day, and I was like, oh, she right. Because I was in the middle of a lawsuit. Somebody was suing me, or actually I was suing someone and then they in turn sued me. And when I thought about it, on that stage, you said, what $1 million companies do not have a lawyer on retainer? And she's like, if you want to be a millionaire, then you have to think like a millionaire and run your business as if you are already that. And so it has completely shifted my mindset, because I'm just a girl from Flint, and I didn't realize that I could have $1 million business. That it was unfathomable to me. And it's still, when I tell people in my family that is what I'm doing, I'm building wealth, they just can't fathom it. So for me, Speak Your Way to Cash was just huge in changing my mindset, and then how I speak to myself, how I speak to my family, the things that I tell myself, there is no ceiling anymore. And that's what Speak Your Way to Cash did for me.
I love that. Well, okay. Now, you have your business. You're helping these people land these dream jobs. What is the next level for your business, and what question do you have about how you can grow it?
So the next level, I feel like I have a framework that's called the Date the Job Before You Apply. But I want to turn that into a professional development program for organizations, because a lot of reason why organizations can't retain their talent, top talent, is due to lack of visibility and lack of professional development. If they can't see themselves, and they're out. And so I want to build that into a professional development framework that I sell to organizations, but I don't know where to start.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, cool. So we'll go to the whiteboard. Okay, so you have a Date the Job framework.
Yes.
Cool. And you want to sell it to organizations.
Correct, as a professional development framework for their companies.
Okay, so you want to sell this PD training.
Yes.
All right, cool. And the training so first off, the easiest way to do it would be to go through affinity groups.
Okay.
Now, they don't typically have the biggest budget, so we're going to go through a couple of strategies. So the affinity group strategy is, they're called employee resource groups. If you go through the employee resource group and you do this framework, you'll have people at all different levels that you can train just on the framework and how they can get promotions within the company, which is great. But then whenever you do an affinity group and they pay you, like let's say they pay 10 to 15K, sometimes depending on which one you go to, they'll pay less. The way affinity groups work is the larger the affinity in the organization, the bigger the budget. So the women's group is large. At our law firm, the two biggest budgets were actually women and the LGBTQ affinity group. They had bread. Now the black group, they ain't give us no bread.
Yeah.
But those are the two largest groups. So if you do the affinity group, and let's say you did want to speak to the Black Employee Resource Group, and let's say they were like, well, Lacia, all we have for you is 5K. Well, then what you would do is say, okay, well, I'll do it for 5K if you have 4 C-suite executives in my session. And then what you're going to do is pitch those C-suite executives. So the easiest way to get paid speaking engagements is for someone to see you speak. The easiest way to get anything is for someone to see you speak. Like every time I go to this one conference and I speak, I keep going because I always leave with a book deal opportunity. This year they want me and Chris to write a marriage book. Last year it was to write a business book. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Marriage book.
Right. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of here for it. So that's why I go. So the affinity group play. The other one is the conferences. So if you go to conferences, then your topic wouldn't really be, it may not be date the job, but it might be, but your topic may be why, like the number one secret to keeping your top leaders, and it's not what you think. And then the secret would be that they need this framework.
Got it.
And so you wouldn't name it like this framework. You would say, hey, the number one secret to keeping your top leaders, and it's not what you think. And then you pitch that to conferences for pay, 10 to 15K, maybe even you started at 25K and negotiate down. And then at that conference, you go and speak about this. But you should only go to conference that are for leaders. Senior leaders. So you want to look for like HR conferences. And I think we have a list for you guys of all the HR conferences. So HR conferences. And the way that you're going to pitch them is going to be email, LinkedIn, and call. I'd recommend a VA do this if you can, like have them do the calls just to find out the right contact, the right information, who's in charge of that. But that would be kind of how you would pitch them. And then 2, you want to make sure that when you pitch them, it's tailored. Like, hey, last year I saw that you had people speak on topic A, topic B, topic C, but no one talked about this one topic that I think would change the game for your conference and give a lot of value to your employees, because it would show them. And then when you put those bullets should be, they shouldn't be like what it's going to be about. Those bullets should be almost like webinar titles. It's going to show them the number one thing that they should be doing every single month in order to build their brand within the company. The secret personal branding hack that every executive needs to know, and the number one thing that they should do to keep their teams happy, even if they have disgruntled employees.
That makes sense.
So like it should be almost like you're pitching them webinar topics essentially. And then there's that. The other thing you could do is just reach out directly. So you could do direct pitching. This is typically like a volume play, and this has a lot to do with volume and consistency. But your goal isn't to pitch them on this. Your goal is to sell them on a sales call. So the actual email should be structured almost like an offer. Like, hey, Jane, I saw that you are the HR director of this company that's amazing. I actually spent 22 years in its direct competitor. And now we have a framework to help this industry to keep all of their top talent. Because I'm seeing right now that people are A, B, C, and D. So right now, this week, I have 2 more spots open to do a strategy call with you about how we can keep your top talent. And I'll do it at no cost if you're able to book it by Friday. So that is like an offer versus just like, hey, book the sales call if you're interested in my services. So you want to make the sales call an offer within itself. Sometimes we call them audits. Sometimes we say like, this is why pitching people in an industry that you, like whatever industry you were in for that company, pitch all of its competitors. Or whatever your job title was, like you were chief of staff, pitch chief of staff. Like, hey, I was chief of staff. I know exactly what it looks like to like manage and all these different team members and when they're not working right. So I have a program to help now chief of staffs to do blah, blah, blah. So like literally you want to leverage something in your background that you can pull into your pitch sequence. That way it's more personalized to you and to them.
Okay.
So that would kind of be where to start. In terms of building this out, that's like building the content around this is the easiest part. Getting it into the organizations is where you have the challenges. So I would say I like this one the best, like pitching to the conferences. Then secondarily, affinity groups are easiest to get speaking engagements at. And truth be told, what state do you live in again?
Texas.
So if there's nothing on your calendar, I would be doing one of these a week anyways. Because I just, like we've had so many clients that do these groups and get other business that there's no downside. I always tell people, I don't pitch speaking for free, but I'm also not gonna have no free time. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
if I'm not booked and I'm just sitting at home because they didn't pay, no, I'm about to get out and start speaking. Whether that's my own event, whether it's speaking at these affinity groups, like you have to always be building your brand, and that requires a level of like force. So you just gotta be in front of people in order to get that done.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. All right. That was good. So right now, if someone is watching this and they're like, dang, okay, this was good. I felt every word. I'm leaving myself in the car. How can I work with you? Like, what would you say to that person?
So I would say you could find me on the Unapologetic Leadership Coach.com, and then all of my social medias is the Unapologetic Leadership Coach. And let's get you promoted. Let's get to the bag this year.
All right, I love that. All right, guys. So I hope you got a lot of value from this, especially our corporate heroes. I love y'all. I see y'all. You are not alone. It's not too hard. You're going to be able to do it. It's way easier when your job pays more. Actually, the more I got paid, the less restrictive the companies were. So, they weren't like hawking over me. But a part of that is when you're a leader, you don't really need people hawking over you. Did you do this? That's not what leaders need. So you want to get promoted to be a leader. First, you want to become a leader. That's an identity shift. Then you want to get the promotion of a leader. And that's what Lacia is going to help you with. If you are an entrepreneur, so she's going to help you with your corporate side. If you're an entrepreneur who is like, yo, I need to grow this business so I don't got to go back and leave myself in the car, you need to be at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. The theme this year is the Expert Olympics. And because I'm extra and because I love a good theme, we actually have 2-time gold medalists coming to speak to you. We literally brought in Olympic champions to talk about a champion's mindset. One thing I've always admired about athletes is their dogged ability. Like, you ain't never going to meet an athlete that's going to say, I'm going to go play this football game and I hope to win. They always play to win, especially professional athletes. And I find that entrepreneurs be hoping to win. Maybe I'll make $1 million this year. Maybe I'll do this. Oh, it's going to be hard. Pro athletes never think like that. The same way pro entrepreneurs never play to lose. And I need you to come to Speak Your Way to Cash Live because some of you have lost your spark, you've lost your drive, you've lost your desire to win, you've lost your hope to win, and we're going to get you all the way together, not just with your mindset on day one, hearing from Olympic champions and NFL players who've built these businesses, but also through learning about sales, marketing, and operations. We're going to build out your 6-figure sales plan. We're going to do a session called Offer Alchemy. We're going to talk about your marketing and paid ads. We've spent close to $1 million in paid advertising, but made almost 8 figures from that ad spend. Do you hear me? I think we're just over 9. What? People are like, I'm scared to lose money on ads. Don't lose money on ads then. Just run ads and make money. Like, I am very, very, very sick of talented experts playing small. I'm so sick of it that I went and found the most intense professional athletes on the planet, Olympic champions, and said, will you please come into my community and teach us how to think like the champions that we are so we can stop pretending to be anything else, right? Because I feel like anything other than you being a champion is just you pretending. Like, we just got to bring back the real you, okay? And that's exactly what we're going to do at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. It is like training camp for experts. So I'm going to be your coach. It is going to be intense, and you're going to love every minute of it. And you still going to do the wobble. You still going to have a time. And after we do all that work and wobbling and learning and networking, we going to end it with a gospel concert. Because, I mean, hello, why not, right? Why not bring it on down after we done put it all up? And you're going to go home, and you're going to dominate, and you're going to go for gold, because that is exactly what the Expert Olympics is going to train and coach you to do. And you need to be in the building. So go to speakyourwaytocashlive.com, and I want to see you at the Expert Olympics, okay? So until next time, guys, keep the energy high and the excuses low, because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm Ashley, and I'll see you next time. For everything you sell, you need a vehicle. Sales calls. Challenge. Our event is a vehicle. It's one way you can sell an offer. You're marketing not just for sales, you're also marketing for data. In your portal, it shows you how to have a brand guide. What brand guides do is it ensures that no matter who designs your stuff, it looks the same. I help y'all land 5- and 6-figure contracts, but there comes a point in your business where you are the one giving 5- and 6-figure contracts.
You cannot afford not to come to this event.
You are missing out. There is so much energy at a place like this.
Everything has been epic. I've never been to a training where I've been engaged in literally every session.
This mastermind has truly changed my life.
My mindset has shifted.
It allowed my business to grow tremendously.
6-figure speaking contracts.
Get in the room. This is unlike any conference that I've ever experienced, and I am a conference junkie, information junkie. I've been to all the things, but I have never been to an event like this.
If you make it from a certain spot, go back higher, go back further, shoot it again. And if you make it from that spot, then you realize, hold on, this may be too low of a rim.
The hardest thing to be in life is yourself. Why? It's because it's the noise. Too many of us are believing what other people are saying about who we should or should not be.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.